Hey guys, the situation on market is heating up, so let's dive straight into Bitcoin. Today we are having the CPI data and inflation rates revealed. So we have reached the important levels that we were talking about for some time already, but we didn't know how soon we are going to get to these levels. Let's look at the weekly time frame, and what we can see, we had this spilling candle, and we mentioned that probably we are going to hold this mid-range of this lower these previous cycles big range. So we held it and we went for the expansion as expected, but then after we had this rejection from this level that I mentioned that it is going to be key resistance level after we touched it as support many times, and then when we lost it, definitely it has become the mirror level. It has become the resistance, and we knew that after we get rejected here, we need to retest this local range, and we either, if we lose this blue line, we are going to go lower, but we kind of did. But there's much interesting situation. We knew that we are going to come to this midterm range resistance, but we didn't know in what order. We either get back for the retest of the of our retest of 15,600, our cycle's bottom for now, and probably the final bottom, who knows. And I told you in my Twitter account that I would prefer us to go first to the retest of this global bottom here, and then go for the recovery. Why did I do that? Because let's look at this way. We were kind of losing this local trend line support, but we recovered as soon as we crossed this Kijun resistance, and it has become our help, our support. And since then we started to hold it and started ascending, gradually chopping, reluctantly, but we started to ascend. And as long as we were above it, it was not shortable. We needed to go under it for it to become the reverse, some kind of reversal point. So this is why I didn't like us being here, because trading above this level, uncertain level, we are creating situation when we don't know where the price. We can guess, but we do not have this supporting indicators like super trend and Kijun working for us anymore. Because if we would go according to this scenario, we would go for the retest here and start the recovery upon the news like we have today. We would find rejection here, and if we enable our super trend here in combination with Kijun, going lower to these levels would drag this super trend resistance line to exactly to this level of the Kijun, and this would create a strong resistance. And when we would come to this level, we would definitely knew our resistance point, and we will definitely knew our invalidation point. So basically, if we held it, this double resistance and even triple resistance here, it would be a strong resistance. And if we get rejected, we get an engulfing candle, and we understand that the trend is continuing and we are going down, at least to retest again this bottom, or most likely even going lower to our top targets, where I was what I was expecting for all this time. Maybe we are not getting it already, but it would make sense for me, and at these levels I would buy everything I can. It doesn't mean that I didn't accumulate before. I accumulated it and I reported it on my Twitter account. I bought some coins and holding them, and they are in profit already, but we will talk about it a little later. Let's talk about the current situation. Today we have this this data revealed about the CPI and other stuff. So definitely we reached this midterm resistance counter trend line, and the reaction is going to, I guess we were pricing in this event going to this strong resistance. Why is that? That would be very convenient. Why? Because if the data revealed today is going to be a positive one, or the expected one, or even a better one, better than everybody expected, the experts, so we can on this news we can break this strong level of resistance technically. Why? Because we have this strong level of resistance that we were held for a long time, and here we have our 2017 all-time high. This is also a very strong resistance level. So only some crazy good news can allow us to break this kind of resistance. And what about the rejection? The rejection, according to this scenario that we have right now, has become a little less understandable. Why? Because we don't have the Kijun here, and we have another stuff here. Let's look at remove the super trend and get us an ATR and volume spike. So we already broke the ATR and it says buy, and usually we try to do that here too. Look at it. Usually when we break the ATR, we start pumping. On the high time frame, on the daily, if we look at the previous time we tried to break the ATR, we started consolidating. We had this support of Kijun, so we couldn't drop below significantly, and we tried to break it, but we kind of failed, and then abruptly we broke it. We stood above it for 3 days, I guess from 2 to 3 days, and started the capitulation. We lost it and dived under it again, and that was the signal that it's over. We are dumping again. This time we not only broke it and holding somewhere above, we broke it significantly. So if we are going to retrace a little bit, and we have this chance because we have look at what we have the chance to drop back to 17,800, 17,400, 300 at least, because we have this untraded area that is already marked by our amazing indicator, and definitely we can recover it. So if we try to get we reject it, we will get back to it, and we will have ATR already with Kijun as our support, and then we wouldn't be able to drop below it to say that we are going back down. So definitely this kind of assumes for us that if we are holding this level, and it is going to be also not only ATR, it is going to be for super trend, I guess, too. Yes, we have this support line too of the super trend. So this is going to be a strong support that will allow us to hold this zone. And if we hold this zone, this means that we are breaking this all this strong resistance we have. That is why I didn't like this, because we are missing our chance to go lower and buy some things. But also we have to be thankful, because if we went lower straight away, some altcoins couldn't survive, I guess, because they would be thrown into the oblivion. This move, and I told it many times, when Bitcoin is standing and not when it is not volatile, when it is not dropping, it is chopping in some kind of very narrow range, or almost as stablecoin stands within $500, it is the best time for altcoins to pump. And this is what we experienced here. As you can see, during the last week, we were a lot of altcoins were pumping a lot, and that helped them save their situation actually. So definitely, so what to expect if we pump higher? We can expect, if we don't know how it is going to happen, whether we on the news of the CPI we can break this level and get the rejection actually, because this 2017 all-time high can hold a little bit and retest it, whatever, and then go higher. But definitely we have to understand that we still can go to not much actually. I don't think that we are going to $28,000. 25 would be the ultimate, I guess, but I don't even expect for 25 in the coming days, or not days, I mean in the coming time, because in the recent closest tide, sorry. So I think the 21,500, 22,000 is going to be the top. Even if we continue to go up, it is going to be our top, because we have so many levels to, if we switch to the let's look at our macro Bitcoin chart on the weekly that we drew before and look at it again. What we have here, very interesting situation. These that I was talking to you, this dotted orange line is holding for many years from 2014, and it was respected. It has been broken many times with some fake outs or whatever, but it was respected many times. We would recover fast from it even if we broke it, but for many years we didn't break it. And this time we are not breaking it too. It ascends higher from its critical support lines, blue and the red one. With each cycle it kind of elevates higher. And what we have here, the reaction here is should be there are some kind of three scenarios, I guess. We find rejection and we lose it, and if we lose it here, definitely it is going to dump to our magical level that we were expecting, but probably won't be getting, I guess. So we would get to 12, 13, 13,000 from here, but this is kind of unlikely scenario already for me. If we break it, we break, as long as on the regular chart and on the logarithmic, this kind of chart, we are breaking it, we retest it, and we go for, and we can see that 21,500, 22,000 is our limit. We will have, this is a global counter trend line on a logarithmic chart, and we will feel rejection here, and we will feel reaction anyway, and we will go for the retest at least to 18,000, I guess. I'm not talking about going lower. We don't know it yet. We will discuss it when the time comes and how it is going to play out until that time. And the third scenario is when we get there, retest, and we break this counter trend line, and eventually we will come for the retest of this yellow line, and maybe even if we have some black swan or whatever, tightening regulation or who knows what, we will come to this favorite level of supports. This would be a back, and this would mark back to our lows, and this is logically what we do. We always come back for the retest after some midterm bull run. We have the retest of it, and here we had the same two. They may be different, look differently a little bit, but anyway, these kind of scenarios have to be taken into consideration and kept in mind. So that is why $22,000 has to be the limit, even if we get midterm bullish. So let's get back to our chart and find some more proof of those thoughts. Let's look at our worst scenario chart that we were discussing in the video of worst scenario, and what we can see, we have come to the rejection not only of the this local counter trend line. We are coming for the retest of this global trend line that we are running from 2019, and I told you if we get rejected from it, then we are going lower. If not, and there is high chance that we are reclaiming it now. If we reclaim it, we can stop some pumping. If we hold it, we can break it and go whatever we go. If the moment we lose it and close below it, then we are going lower, and you should drop all your longs and maybe even sell your spots to find lower prices. Who knows? But this chart also is very helpful. Let's proceed to our CME futures chart, and it looks perfectly here like in the game. As you can see, we are holding this precise level of resistance that was previously a support level, and and we can draw the same resistance line. But let's look at the daily time frame, and what we can see, oh my gosh, it looks much convincible than the ordinary chart of Bitcoin. What we can see here, that as long as we hold this trend line, we are bullish here and we are not shorting it, but we have approached the very important resistance point level. So basically we have this symbiosis of resistances, the super trend and Gaussian shift, and these 2 days are for following it closely. For example, if we break it, and there is high chance here at the moment upon the news, of course, especially if we break it and secure it, then we become bullish in the midterm and we can start running. If we close below, we touch it, doesn't matter. If we close below this super trend and we don't break the super trend line here, if we start the next day and we kind of retest it, even kind of make a fake out, but we close below it, then probably we are not changing the trend, and the trend remains the descending, and we can start going lower. But this kind of chance now is only 30-40%, not more. I'd say it kind of looks that we are going to break it. Who knows what is going to happen, but there's high chance to break it and hold it, and we have to follow it closely these 2 days. Let's look at some S&P 500, what we have here, to understand what we are having on traditional markets, because Bitcoin is following S&P. From the previous videos, we were discussing that we retested this super trend and we failed to break it, and it proved that the trend remains the descending one. We started here the recovery a little bit, we went lower the recovery, but didn't mark my first points yet, and maybe we won't even reach them. Let's look at the monthly. It kind of looks a great situation would be here if we get rejected. We have this red candle and we coming for the retest, and if it gets absorbed, then we are going to our first target, and the next would be here. But there is, I think it is unlikely right now that we are going there. At least reaching this level would be nice, but the chances of doing so are melting on the we can see that they are melting and are not good. So basically we can break abruptly break this current trend line and try to retest this Kijun. If we get rejected and dive back under, then we are going lower. If not, there is high chance that we are changing the narrative, reclaiming Kijun as support, and we are going higher, and maybe on the monthly we will go for some retest of this super trend, who knows, and then we will continue to drop a little bit lower towards the monthly Kijun. But the situation here is kind of edgy. Nobody knows what is going to happen, whether we are going to break it or not. The situation is uncertain at the moment. Let's look at the dollar, and dollar doesn't look heavy with the good with this kind of candle, but the weekly hasn't closed yet. On the daily we had this strong dumping candle, but we can assume that we played out it here, and we reached my top levels of support here. As you can see, we have this global trend line, and I told you that, and we have more trend lines here that help us to find the best support. Some people tell that we are coming to 100 level. That is kind of possible. We have this line, but if we drop it, then we will have some free ride on the stock market and crypto market. But for now I still hope that we are holding it, because look at the weekly, we have a lot of support here, and even if we touch this, we will reclaim it, I guess. I think we will hold it. If we break it, that is going to be bad, and we are going to 9800, not lower, and then we'll start recovery. But for now I don't see that. As long as we hold this set of resistances, I think we are still recovering to where? To 104, 105 first, and then if we break it, then we are going for the level I talked about before, to 108, 109. Who knows, maybe we will do that by breaking Kijun already and retesting it at some point. But for now, as long as we hold this support, we are expecting it to get back up, and maybe we'll see some pressure on the stock market and crypto, but it is not guaranteed. The narrative, the data is going to tell us today a lot. Okay, let's proceed to some of the altcoins that have some meaning for the crypto and for our understanding of the direction, overall direction of the market. Let's switch to the TRON, and what we were talking about before was these weeks, red weeks that we are living here each time, and it was playing out nicely. The moment we drew this uncovered week, I told you that we are going for the recovery, and we went for it, and we left another big week, and I don't like it, and I told you that probably at some point we are going to go back and recover it too, at least partially. Of course we know this, that when we leave at the actual bottom, if we leave at the actual bottom such kind of candle, and with the week on the monthly, it can remain uncovered like we did here. But for me personally, this kind of week doesn't look the same as here. It doesn't look convincing, and it is too big to be left uncovered. So basically I think we are coming for the recovery again, at least to 4 cents. And let's look at the lower time frames. What we got here, we already have an uncovered wick here and here, and this one already tells me that we are going to cover it anyway, sooner or later. So the question is only, from what level are we going to get rejected and get back down? As long as we hold this line, we are bullish and good. So we are approaching this weekly EMA. It is 7 and 30 EMA bands. So if we get to precisely to 6 cents, if we get rejected here, it is the great spot. We either get reversed either here at 6 cents, around 5.9, somewhere there, or if we go further, then we are going fully to 7 cents. Let's have some additional help here with our indicators. Perfectly. If we do not reverse here, then we are going higher, and we will find strong rejection from this global trend line as resistance, and Kijun as resistance. So definitely I would short somewhere here at around 6.9, 7 cents would be a great place for the reversal and getting back to the recovery of this level. And this is what we are looking at TRON, and it has been useful until now. So that is why we have to pay attention to it, I guess. So let's look at some altcoins that I bought during this bear market. I started accumulating and was advising you to do the same, start accumulating gradually, and this is what I did too. But before that, I should tell you that I'm not expecting a lot of assets like people are expecting for them to have the same bull runs we had before in 2021 and before, and that's a lot of popular assets are going to renew their all-time highs, and I am kind of convinced that most of the altcoins that were going crazy and skyrocketing in 2021, they are not going to renew and even reach their all-time highs, even Solana. But even with Solana, if it survives, and there are reasons to consider that this was all some kind of plot, like with Ethereum in 2018, to scare the people out from the opportunity to buy it so low. So I even consider that even buying Solana is very interesting, and we will discuss why soon. So I expect a lot of assets that were the stars and were skyrocketing during the previous this cycle of 2021. I think they are going to follow price action of either XRP, where they are going to spike each time by 50% and go down, and each spike is going to be 50% lower than the previous one, or it is going to these assets are going to trade in a narrow low range until the real bull run comes, and then they are going to draw something like NEO on their chart. Let's look at NEO. If you remember, I was talking to you many months ago when I was talking about Filecoin too. I was mentioning NEO, for though a lot of people were asking it, because a lot of old school guys who believe in these kind of assets from 2018, they want to hold it, they believe in their narrative or whatever they are doing, but never delivering what was promised, I guess. So they are out of attention, but they still thrive during the bull run and follow the market. So let's look at the NEO. What we had here, definitely we had all-time high here, and after we dropped so low from the all-time high, a lot of people didn't expect us to going back, but we went decently above it, and I was trading it in 2021 by the end of the bull run, and it was very profitable when it not many people were expecting it to even go to $55, but it did, and even went higher to 110. This is where I was expecting it, not higher, but it went even higher and drew the lower high, the macro lower high. What is going to happen next? I am not expecting this asset to perform something extraordinary. We have all these targets here, and I mentioned it sometime in my previous videos long ago in 2022, maybe 2021. So we have, if we enable Kijun, we see the perfect place for the price to come during the bull run. And let's switch to the monthly, and here it is, $70, $80, who knows, up to $70, I think. 50, 70 is top, I guess. And this would make total sense for me because we are marking this strong intersection of global counter trend line and trend line. And we have also the monthly Kijun here, strong resistance. Also, we can break Kijun abruptly. So basically, when we come here, we can kind of break it, find resistance, and dive under. And this is going to be the sign when we get rejected either here or when we dive under this Kijun. It is the sign to start shorting the hell out of this coin. We are not going higher than $80 plus. I think we should count on 70 max, and when we reach $70 plus, we have to drop it. If you hold it, believe in it, this asset, and you are buying, and actually we are buying it at the levels that I mentioned it will come to, and it did actually. So if you believe in it, then you will make some money on it and start shorting here. But this is the scenario that we have to expect, I guess, in the years to come. And this is the scenarios that may apply to a lot of assets on the market, especially those that run. And let's look at Solana. And this is this kind of looks very similarly to this one. If we zoom out, we will see a huge drop here too. If we look, and we were forming, let's remove these indicators. What we see here, we were dropping nicely here, and we were trading in a narrow range for a long time. And at some point, when the real bull market started, we started to breaking through this range resistance, reclaiming it, and retesting previous range, successfully held and sent, and we started pumping. This is what is going to can happen with the same situation with the Solana, and this would be, even if it doesn't deliver what everybody is expecting, if the Vitalik Buterin is not saving it, there's still situation. The same situation happened with Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Gold, and other stuff. They were running unnoticed until the real bull run started and the alt season came, and then they are starting to pump. So basically, we are not expecting, and we are expecting what? We are expecting the price of okay, we have this global counter trend line. Perfect. We don't know where it is going to stop here right now, but we have the signs here. If we break it, we can find resistance here and get back under it. We don't know whether we are going to reach this low. Maybe we, according to Solana, so this, as you can see, let's look at the comparison between Solana. The trader XO presented us a great trader, presented us a great example of this one, and as you can see, we can actually at some point even draw a little bit lower lows here, but that will take a lot of time, I guess, and we are not going back to $9, $10 soon. So if we get back in the coming in the coming weeks or months. I think it would be wise to buy Solana around, if we get to $11, that would be nice, but I don't think we are getting that. Not sure. I guess it will depend on Bitcoin, of course. $12-13, from $11 to $13 would be good, I guess, as long as we hold this one. Let's enable Kajun, and we have this support. So basically, if we, and as you can see, we have this support. So basically, if we go for the retest, we'll find support here. If we drop it, then it gets nasty. But as long as we hold it, we are set for the recovery from here, and we are going back under and retest here. We will go to $28, would make sense. 28, 29, maybe fake out here to retest this previous range, get rejected maybe, and then break it. Who knows, maybe going back under and break later. So I would consider buying myself. I am going to consider buying Solana. From this perspective, it is totally worth it, because look at it, if we are actually copying this kind of fractal, and we are doing this all the time. Let's look at Bitcoin that we had in 2021, and I shared it with my private community. It totally copied the price action and the fractal of the Amazon of 2001. The same situation can be with Neo and other stuff with Solana. So we have to pay attention to this, and I think having Solana risking not a big part of your portfolio, I don't know how you build it, 5%, 2%, depends on your equity and the allocations that you put into one asset. It is worth it. It is worth accumulating this asset, because you not only can buy it on spot, you can use it as margin to trade. If you buy it here, somewhere here or here, or maybe if it doesn't break it, and even if it goes lower, then okay, you can long it and multiply, and you can buy more if you believe in it. If you're not, then you can buy more. Not buy more, you can use it as margin to open small 1x, 2x, 3x longs, safe longs of using your Solana and multiplying your Solana. So basically, if you buy here, and it goes lower, you open a long, and it gets back to these levels, and you know it is going to go back to it, and you double your or triple your Solana holdings. And you just hold, you don't care. You won't lose your investments unless Solana gets scammed, gets insolvent, and the project dies. And if it doesn't die at some point, by trading and multiplying your Solana, it will be back to $180, $20, $200, just like over the years. In 2 years or 3 years, it will come to these levels, and you will be rewarded, because from these levels, it is going to be more than 20x. No, not 20x, but 15x or whatever. But you can multiply your Solana by that time, the way the smart and sophisticated traders did in 2018 with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and maybe even other coins. So the best part of Solana, and for example new blockchains, you can long them using them as a margin, and you won't care about the dollar cost of them. You will find about it when the asset goes parabolic. So definitely Solana is worth taking looking into. Let's look at Near. And Near has kind of similar situation, and it started pumping the same hardly as it was pumping, as it was dumping, because we knew that it has some issues with FTX and other stuff. A lot of projects are doesn't look convincing, and they had not enough, I guess, investment for operating the system. So a lot of people lost faith in it. And if you remember, and as you can see, we found precisely the bottom. We don't have a lot of history of trading here, but if we had, you will find out that we usually trade somewhere like here in the lower range, and then we are breaking it, retesting it, and if we retest it successfully, we take off and never look back. And this is what happened here. And these levels and a lot of assets, I warned you that a lot of assets, we call it, I don't know how you call it in your country, we call it some kind of, that is translated as rehighs. When we break a long lasting range, retest it and send it. This is an important level where if we come there, we start pumping from there and holding it. And I had in my vision that the price of NEAR can go to these levels, but primarily I was talking about, and I mentioned, let's look at this chart more. We have this global trend lines here, and we were trading it successfully. The trend lines were obeying perfectly. Support, this line, resistance. We were shorting it here. Here we lost it, retested, lower. I had my primary targets here before at $1.65 and $1.85. But as long as I found out about the issues in the NEAR ecosystem, I decided not to bet on it, and I was right, and we went lower, and I didn't know actually where to put my bids. I was constantly replacing them, and I had my my range was between $1.18 and to $1.25, and if I bet there, I would have a great entry for myself. But I decided to put it a little bit lower, somewhere here at between 90 and 95 cents. Of course, we didn't get there, and I think we are not getting there already. So, but we can, if we draw something like, as we can see, head and shoulders here, we had, it looks kind of the range and the deviation. And if it's deviation and we hold this level, then we can go for the retest of 150, 145, 138, maybe of this line, 142, though. Yeah, 142, and I would buy it here, definitely. I'm going to buy it as long as we hold these levels, and we'll hold it. If we go lower, if I manage to sell on time and find out about it, if the market goes to shit, then I will sell it somewhere here. If not, then I'm going to hold it, and simply you can do the same as with Solana. You can long your NEAR and multiply it by the time it comes. And the potential of the NEAR, I told you what is the potential. If the project survives, in my early videos I was telling you, we will definitely during the bull run come to this trend line, and if the project actually becomes as good as I thought initially, it can go even to $30, but we don't know it yet. Those are just assumptions, but buying here at 140, 145, I don't know where we go for the retest. Let's look at the closer what we have here. Okay, the same situation as with Bitcoin and other assets. What we can see here is this. Okay, we broke this Kijun, and this may sound like a bullish candle, and usually this kind of candle also can be the reversal, local reversal. So don't be surprised if we will roll back to these levels of the Kijun, but it will depend also today on the CPI information and other narratives. But we have a clear level of resistance here, this local counter trend line. Maybe will get rejected, maybe we'll find support here. If we hold it, maybe would be a good spot to buy too. If we are not, we are going back to 148.49. If we hold it, if we lose it, then we will think about it. But until then, it is as long as we hold, because as the way as Bitcoin, we have Kijun and super trend on the daily as our supports, and as long as we hold these supports, it becomes our strong support. As long as we hold it, we are bullish, and you should buy it or long it the moment we get for the retest here. If we lose it, we reclaim it below, then we're going lower, better drop it. But for now, it kind of looks that we'll have some run in the coming days. Let's look about at the Filecoin. What happened here? They dropped, some institutionals dropped Filecoin to cover their losses. What I did, I had my, as I told you many times before, I was trying to buy this asset at $5 around, and then it started pumping, then back down, and my holdings were sold automatically at entry. So I was expecting us to go lower somewhere here. I didn't actually believe that we will mark this level, but I put my conditional order to buy at 245. If it comes there, I was dreaming, and this dream came to life actually. So I bought it, and I was happy because it rolled back quickly to $3. So I started holding it, and I made some appointments. I thought then if we go to 350, 370, I'm going to sell it, and I actually did, and it rolled back here after it first time after Phil reached this 350. I sold it. It rolled back a little bit, and I put my, after that I put my stop buy order in case it gets back to the price of my sell at 350. It will automatically buy those fills back as if I never sold it, and the price went higher, and it of course triggered my buy order, and I reclaimed my fills again, and now we are reclaiming Kijun as support again. And here the situation is not that clear, and when I was talking about it, I didn't actually like that we left this uncovered candle. We don't know whether we are going back to 245 to 50 again. I think even if we get back there, Filecoin can even go lower, kind of. Not sure about this right now, but what I have in mind, as long as we hold this Kijun, I'm holding this price, and I'm going to sell somewhere here around 480, 490 when we are going to, for the retest, at least there, for the retest of this small range. If we are coming, or maybe not there, maybe to this line. We have this precise line, and we know how these local trend lines work. Let's remove this one, and we have this line, and we know that the moment we touch it, we will have a reaction, and it would be a great, if we have some kind of fake out here, would be a great spot to sell it and wait for the price and at least to go back here. At least we don't know whether it's going back for the retest and recovery of this would make sense, but not necessarily at the moment. So if I sell here and we get back to 335 and I buy again more fill, will multiply simply the amount of my fill holdings by let's look at it, more than 35%. That would be awesome. And then I wouldn't even care if the price goes lower for the retest or goes even lower, because I would have my hedge here. So I would already have more than I spent buying this, and then I would simply have to wait for the full recovery, at least to these levels, to $13-15. Then I would think about selling it and the rest of it and rebuying it and accumulating more fill. And this is the scenario I'm going to do with any coin that I'm buying. If it's not tradable as margin, I'm simply selling at some strong high time frame resistance levels. If I see them, then I sell and rebuy lower. If I can trade it, like with SUSHI, let's talk about SUSHI. With SUSHI, I bought some because I had some great levels here. So definitely, I told you before that I bought only 50% from my allocation for SUSHI. I wanted to buy it before with the potential it had and the supply, the small supply it has. It all mathematical expectation was great, but and what I liked is you can also long and short SUSHI using it as margin at limited amount of exchanges. I guess not many left at this time. So the last time I bought my first portion of SUSHI was bought at $1, exactly at $1, and before somewhere here, and I was holding it after it has pumped, but I left another 50% of allocation, and I told you that in my Twitter accounts and in my videos that if we get back to it to $1 or even lower, we go for this retest of this our total low this year. So if we retest it successfully, then I am going to buy the second part. If we do not hold it, then I am going to buy around 55-60 cents the second portion of SUSHI and never look back. So, and I was reluctant to buy it because of the situation with their change of the tokenomics. They are not going to incentivize their stakers anymore as they did before. They are going to direct those rewards to their foundation. They have problems with the funding. At the moment, we don't know whether it is going to be fixed when the bull run comes. But the thing is, I looked at this and I saw this double bottom, perfect double bottom that had to play out at least locally. So I thought it is safe. So I bought at 94 cents, and now I have a good overall 97 cents, I guess, average entry price for SUSHI. It feels kind of safe, but we don't know what is going to happen next, and we have to follow it because we are at very important resistance level here. So, and at the moment it kind of looks that we are going to absorb it, if the candle is going to be absorbing one. Yes, and we drop below this line, below $1.03, then it can become nasty actually, and we can actually continue to go lower, retest. If we see retest and rejection here, then we are definitely going lower. And in general, this not breaking this level means that we are continuing the descending trend for SUSHI, and then I would consider maybe dropping it at my average entry, or so definitely looking closely to it. But if we figure out how to, as you can see, a lot of assets, a lot of altcoins, they reach their monthly resistance, weekly and the monthly resistance. So don't be surprised that we will roll back until the end of this month. So let's look at back at the daily. So if we reclaim this, somehow we break it, if some narrative appears on the market and we break it, it helps Sushi to drag it up. If we reclaim this Kijun, then definitely we are going to go higher. I was planning on 132, but now I see if we reclaim it, we are going higher, at least to 150, 177. And this is where I'm going to either sell it, or we also have another trend line. We have this trend line, and it will help us understand where is going to be the massive sell-off. It is going to be around $2. If we meet this resistance, we will definitely have a rejection, and that would be a great place to sell it. Either sell it or start shorting it. Now I can see a lot, very few exchanges now can provide you the opportunity to use Sushi, trade it as using it as margin and multiplying it, shorting it or longing. I think Huobi does, and it was FTX, but it doesn't provide work anymore. And I found myself a better solution with normal liquidity for this pair. It is on OKX exchange. If you want to buy and trade, multiplying your Sushi holdings, then I would suggest you to sign up on OKX. This exchange was kind of growing, and its token was holding nicely during this bear market, so why not? And the interface seems to be good at the moment, so I think if you want to get engaged into Sushi, then probably you would like to hold it there. If you want some sign up and rewards for sign up, I will leave my referral link in the description. It's up to you. So definitely this one is to watch. And Sushi, these are the assets I'm holding at the moment. The next one, Wu Network, and this one has been a great deal for me, because if you followed my Twitter, and I was posting in August an article regarding the previous cycles centralized exchanges coins like BNB that I was advising to buy everybody in 2019 2020. So now I was talking in this article about some of the centralized exchange related tokens, and there aren't many of them and reliable of them, so I decided to tell you what I'm looking into. These assets were the BitDAO and mainly Wu token, and Wu token was the main promising centralized exchange related token. So I told you, and in that article I told you that I'm going to buy Wu and I put my purchase order at $10 at $10 here actually, and it actually reached my buying order. And now I was very afraid that this is going to go lower and we will lose the support. Then we would go to at least 5 cents, and that would be a massive sell-off actually. So this was risking, especially with the total supply of Wu tokens and circulating supply. It's kind of big, but they were holding some quarterly or monthly burns, but still those burns didn't burn a lot. And turned out a few days ago we found out that Wu exchange, they announced that they burned 24% of the total supply of their tokens, and that was a great news that drove the price higher. And I think this exchange is going to improve over the years, and it is going to be a good player in the coming run. Let's look at what we have here, at other more precise here. chart and the situation we are now we went precisely why my buy order was there, because we have this uncovered week, and this week was too long, and this was the sign that we are going to cover it, and we covered it, and this was the best entry price. Why? Because you are buying here. If it goes lower and closes below it, then you know that you should sell, and you will sell upon the rejection. It's somewhere here. If not, then you simply hold, and this has become very successful. And for now, what to do for those who didn't buy it at that moment? It is hard to explain. We have to follow Bitcoin and the overall situation on the market, but I don't think it is going to drop below 10 cents already. If you didn't buy it, and I would consider actually after this news, I think I would like to buy even more of WOO tokens, and I don't know where to buy, but because okay, we broke this midterm trend contra trend line. Now we are reaching this local trend line. So if we drop below, we have this super trend support. If we hold it, then we are going higher to 28 cents. We don't know it yet at the moment, but these are the potentials. We drop, if there is the possibility that we start chopping upon this trend line as support, and then 12 from 12 to 14 cents may be a good price to buy. We don't know it yet, but in the long term, I think it is not going to be a mistake either. So we have to follow this situation. Actually, we don't know whether we are going back to 10 cents, and even if we do, that is not going to be very soon. The perfect price would be buying somewhere here in this range between 10 and 12 cents, 12, 13 cents. So basically follow how this is going to be, and what is the potential for the WOO trade token. It is totally clear here. As you can see this on the chart. The possibilities of this token in the next 3 years are massive, actually, especially if they continue to decrease their token supply. I would bet at 178 is going to be reached anyway, and the rest of it I would bet up to $3. So this is, and you can calculate what profit it can get you if you buy between 10 to 14 cents, what kind of return it is going to give you. So it is up to you. It is not financial advice, of course. We don't know anything, but we see that it is going to be a great player. It is not only centralized exchange, it is the DeFi platform too, venture capital division, some trading division too. Also, it is the trading platform that provides the free trading if you hold WOO, stake it, and also they are providing the order book services with, and have partnership with Orderly Network that has acquired 200 million fund. Yes, a big, I don't remember what was the exact number, but it was a big number of investments from the top investors of the industry. So definitely this one is to follow. What else we have to do? Let's look at the MATIC, and the situation here is not very understandable kind of at the moment, because if we look at the monthly, we can see that we reached the monthly limit, I guess. Not very clear at the moment here, but the bands suggest that. And actually it is kind of risky at the moment to bet on it here. I was I was planning to kind of get a short around 89 cents, but now it doesn't seem right, so I wouldn't do that. But definitely if we look at the bigger picture and enable our super trend indicator and Kijun on the weekly, we can see that we can actually kind of try to pump higher and meet some resistance here and get back to at least 80 cents or 70 cents maybe there. We don't know it yet, but MATIC is not a very interesting asset for me. It is kind of overbought and overvalued. I don't think it is going to run very high from the current prices. $80 right now, how high it can go with its supply, even if with this high adoption and this huge partnership with traditional players. From here to $5-6, okay, how much are you going to do with that? I don't know. I would prefer buying it not, I would buy it not higher than from this zone, but there is no guarantee that we are getting there, and with the current market conditions, definitely not good actually. Let's look at Polkadot. I didn't buy Polkadot, but I had my orders there, and these orders were around 350 340. They didn't get filled. I was kind of expecting the price to come here to 350 370, and I would buy it there. But and we have this perfect channel here. If you look at the lower time frame, looks good and similar to other altcoins, I guess. So definitely, what are we going to do here? We are holding this trend line right now. We are approaching this descending wedge, falling wedge kind of. So there are two types of scenarios here at the moment. If we reclaim it and hold it, retest it, and hold this trend line, then we are going to pump from here. And this asset was reluctant to pump heavily during this ascending market, and it would come to $677, I guess, and then we'll start maybe going back to retest this line and finding point of reversal. But if we cannot hold this Kijun as support and we start diving, and even more, we lose this local trend line, we are going for at least for the retest of this super trend. And if we hold it, maybe we'll reclaim it, then we are going to break it. If not, and we are going to break this one, then we have to retest it and look. If we get rejected again, then we are going lower to our prices, and this is going to be already, I guess, even not 350, we can go even to $3. So it would get nasty with the Polkadot, and it would make sense actually to me. The supply is higher than 1 billion, and this asset is kind of overpriced in my opinion. So let's look at the BNB. I was talking to you, telling you that I was expecting it to come to $200. It dropped a little bit here with the week, but didn't get to that exactly 220. It went at 219. I don't want to buy this asset, but if we look at the bigger picture here, and with the narrative that let's look at the bigger picture. At the bigger picture, we are already reaching the band's limit for the monthly move. So usually we have to start a little, retrace a little bit from here. We don't know what is going to, if we continue to go higher on this monthly, then it becomes kind of bullish. And then let's look at the monthly Kijun, what we have here. It is important how we are going to cross this Kijun, because if we dive right here, we will find this resistance, and we will feel this resistance, and we will get rejected up to this level at least, and maybe even lose it and go for this level and even for this level. But with the current narrative that CZ and Binance are buying, they are kind of conquering the whole industry and leading it, and even the USA has already agreed for Binance to buy the Voyager, yes, the lander, and they have a lot of weight right now. So basically, if they act so strong at the market already, and the financial regulator of the United States doesn't start to kind of retaliate for FTX, or doesn't start some kind of campaign investigations and campaigns, significant campaigns against Binance, I think probably they will be able to negotiate and come to some kind of agreement with the authorities. Then if this candle doesn't get absorbed or whatever, and we continue to act strongly, then we can draw another high green candle. If the market feels healthy and going higher, then we can go and reclaim this Kijun as support. This Kijun of BNB is not that, for example, like of Bitcoins, not that tight. It gives us space to maybe even recover and hold it as support. Then we are going to retest this super trend, or it is going to be lower here, somewhere I guess maybe here. And if we retest it, get rejected, then we find the support somewhere here, and we will have the Kijun support and this trend line support, and that would be perfect. And that at that moment, if we hold it, that will give us the reasons to go higher and go for the retest of the all-time high. Then of course get some retracement and start, and that would actually make sense to me. I'm not a bull in the Binance, and you know that I marked already a lot of time that we have an untraded area here, and we should, according to technical analysis, we should have, and the practice of the markets and liquidity, we should have got back to $40, $150 at least. But if the Binance continues to be that leader and that strong, then we actually can break this one and go to the new highs. This is the positive scenario. We are discussing it today because usually we discuss the negative, but as long as I see some kind of a little chances for these positive scenarios, I'm presenting them to you, I'm telling them to you, so you would be so you would know about such possibilities. And the next asset I was buying was DYDX, but I wasn't even sure because we were reaching again this support level, and the more I was telling you to short, it was a reversal bearish candle, and we went straight away to this support, and we touched this support already the third time. And this is actually potentially the reasons for concern, because the more we touch it, the more we prove that it is a strong support. And if we have relation to this level and we assume it as a strong support, the more we touch it, the moment it doesn't hold, we are going down. So, and DYDX has a lot of reasons to go down actually, because it has a massive unlock in February and it is soon. So I bought this asset at this level of support, and I mentioned it on my Twitter account. If you followed, you know that. So I bought this at $1.02 right here, and for now it was successful, it was profitable. It brought me 39% already, 38 of profit, but we don't know whether we will hold this after we unlock so many tokens. And I think if we come for the retest of this level again, we will lose it. So definitely DYDX has to use, if we have the continuation of this bull run move, DYDX definitely has to use it to the full to send the price higher. So when the unlock happens, we would drop, even not reaching this all-time low, because losing it. And I will, and now knowing, understanding this possibility, for now we are testing the super trend on the daily. It doesn't seem like we are going to break it, and even if we break it, I don't know how it is going to be. For example, we have this reversal candle before. If we go like this, we go lower. I don't see us doing something like that at the moment. It doesn't seem right at the here in this position. So definitely, guys, be careful here and watch out with this asset. I put my stop loss a little below entry at 106. So if we lose it, then I sell it and I focus. I will rebuy it lower. So for now, I'm holding it. It is promising in the long run. Let's talk about Atom. A lot of people were buying Atom, and I was tempted to at $9. It wouldn't be a mistake because we had this, we reclaimed this level. Should have bought it, but it seemed like expensive to me at that time. But I know that the potential of Atom is great. But I had in my plans that we are going to recover this, at least this, maybe even if not this whole uncovered week, although we should have covered it, because it would seem right from the market structuring. And as you can see, I would buy in this zone somewhere here if we could get back to that. And as we can see, recently Atom started to lose its the speed of its movement, the price action's volatility. That is why it is recovering, but the recovery is kind of slow. And I think if right now Bitcoin finds the rejection and it doesn't break higher, it doesn't break those key resistance levels of that 2017 all-time high, then there's possibility for Atom to, and it would be logical. We have this weekly resistance here, right here upon this global trend line, and it would make sense for me to get rejected here. Of course, if we reclaim it, then we are going higher, no doubt about it. You know the mechanics if you watch my videos. But if we do, we have the chance to go in here and even potentially eventually to go and recover this level. This is the level where I would totally buy Atom and hold it and stake it and even trade it, because you can use it as margin for trading if you are a decorated trader and you know what you are doing and you are calculating your risks and you are using smallest leverages. I guess this is it for today. We'll talk about other stuff if you want. Leave in the comments what assets you want me to look at, and goodbye to you guys.